Alright, YouTube, what's going on? Crazy NC, man. I got a great airsoft gun to review for you guys. I'm really excited about this review for two reasons. One, the main reason is because I can call this the H&K G36c. I don't have to call it the KG36. I don't have to call it the G608-6-4. This is a G36c H&K, fully licensed, so we can call it by its proper name. The other reason I'm real excited about this review is this is gun number 2 that will be going into the review project. If you're not up to speed on what the review project is, there's a link in the description below. But in short, I'm going to review these guns like I usually do, and then my company, milspecairsoft.com, we will donate that gun to the review project, and we are going to send it to airsoft players all over the country. Those players will take the gun to a game, they'll use it, and then they'll file a report on it. So you're going to get the most in-depth reviews ever from YouTube. This is the first anywhere in the world. Crazy NC man bringing it to you. Just like the title says, this is the H&K G36c. It's fully licensed by Umarex, made in Hong Kong, and it's, as we all know, they're made by Aries. This is a great gun to put in my review project because there's a lot of varied opinions on this. Everything from Aries makes the greatest thing in the world to Aries makes really bad guns. So it's about time we take an in-depth look on just how good Aries is. So let's get right to it. You get it, comes in this giant box. It says H&K on it, right? Cares about the big box. And then you get your Umarex USA registration card, and a G36c manual. Now the manuals don't tell you a whole lot. It gives you the basics, but not anything real in depth. And they're fancy, they're pretty, but they don't have a parts breakdown either, which I hate. I'd rather have the parts breakdown than the manual. But anyways, for those of you new to airsoft, or your first airsoft gun, whatever, first good airsoft gun, that manual will tell you everything you need to know. And then, of course, you get the gun itself. This does not include a battery and charger like most high-end guns. You just get the gun and a 400, they say 440 round magazine. I'm going to call it 450 round magazine, but I'm not actually going to measure it. So, but anyways, that's what you get. You get a registration card, a manual, and a Butamus H&K G36c, fully licensed by Umarex. So this gun, one, it's an electric blowback, so that means the bolt right here would cycle like a real gun when you're shooting it, which is cool, gives a little recoil. And the other great feature about this gun, as well as a lot of Aries guns, it has a quick change spring. I never understood in this industry why they make the gearboxes the way they do, so you have to open them up to change a spring. And yes, I know everybody's going to say because it changes the structural integrity when you have the quick change rear part of the gearbox, but it just makes sense. Like this gun here, you know, I'd use a G36 in CQB or out in the field. I mean, either way, it's going to be a great gun for both applications. But if you want a little more FPS out in the field, you just pop the back of the gearbox off, put in a different spring. Sure, it leaves a little gray area because you might get these people that might come to a game chrono and then go back to their car and change the spring and up the FPS, but hey, whatever. They'll get caught sooner or later. But that's a great feature, and I really like it. And when we get to the internal review, I'll show you how to do it. But basically, you just remove the rear body pin and then pull this piece out. And then there's a little, there's two screws. There's one cap screw. It keeps the socket head cap screw clean. You back that out, and then you can just back the whole spring and spring guide right out of the thing, change it. Take you all about a minute to change the spring, get a different FPS. So two great features of this gun, blowback and the quick change spring. Now the exterior of the gun, I saw another review somebody did a while ago. They were saying, man, this H&K G36 is way nicer than the KWA exterior. And I can tell you I've handled a lot of KWA G36s, and this one is nice. It's definitely, they did a good job on the gun, but it is not as clean as a KWA on the outside. There's a lot of mold lines in the plastic, and it's just not quite as clean. I'd prefer, just looks-wise, the KWA. But, again, Aries, H&K, Umarex, they did a great job. It's a great-looking gun. The finish is nice. It's just got a lot of seams to it, so I didn't like that. Now, the like any G36 real steel gun, this is a fully plastic gun, and I know everybody's going to chime in on this and argue. I'm not going to argue whether this is a polymer, this is ABS, this is plastic, this is nylon reinforced with fiberglass. It's plastic, okay? Let's just leave it at that. Nobody knows except the people that are making this stuff exactly what it is. So it's fully plastic, side fold stock. This top rail here is indeed plastic. The sights, it's got a metal rear sight. Plastic flash hider, which is a non-standard type unit. The rails here are metal. But one thing I really didn't like when they went with the plastic was the front sling mount. I think that's a big no-no to put plastic on there, especially these aren't very thick. So at this price gun, they should have went with a metal sling mount up front. Then of course plastic magazine, magwell, and all that. The gun is entirely made of plastic, but pretty durable, pretty tight, nice looking gun. Alright, before we move on to the internal report of the gun, I just want to cover some of the basics for those of you who might be new to airsoft and automatic electric guns. This gun, like I said, it fires in semi and it fires in fully automatic. It's ambidextrous. You got a fire selector switch on this side. You got a fire selector switch on this side, so both right and left-handed shooters can use this gun. Same with the magazine release. You release the magazine with your thumb, and you can do it from either side of the gun. So it is indeed fully ambidextrous, and the charging handle will also open on either side. So that's a basic overview of the G36. The compartment up front, a lot of G36s, people are like, you know, they're usually a nightmare for a battery. This one here, surprisingly, you can get an 8.4 volt brick in it. You can get an 8.4 volt mini nunchuck, and you can also get a 9.6 volt brick and a 9.6 volt nunchuck in there, no problem. When I was doing the testing, the test shooting yesterday, I had a 9.6 volt nunchuck battery, 2 pieces. Wasn't real difficult to get in there. It's, you know, kind of you had to work at it a little bit, but it fit. And I must say, this gun has an amazing rate of fire with a 9.6 volt battery. It really performed well. I was impressed with it right out of the box. And like I said, we'll go ahead and send this gun through the project so we can actually test to see how well Aries guns do. So let's go ahead and we'll switch to the overhead camera and we'll go ahead and take this thing apart and see what's inside it. It's the Aries G36c shooting test. I'm just going to go right from 100 feet. You can see I have a 12 by 18 target. Down there with the tripod. Let's go out here. It's 25 feet. Coming up on number 2, 50 feet. 75 feet. You can see right out here, I'm going to shoot right from 100 feet.